Hello and welcome, Inspired Podcast community. This is your new episode. My name is Caroline, and my today's guest is Victoria McRay. Is that your name?
Hello, everyone. Yes, Victoria
Oh,
McRay. That's how you say it.
thank you so much. And let me introduce you to the audience a little bit. You are a former educator and fitness instructor. You are on a mission to redefine aging, proving that life after 50 is an adventure to embrace. I love that very much. I have to admit, I'm not 50 yet. And so we can talk about that. Thank you so much for saying yes. And now it's up to you what you like to add to this.
Well, since you're called inspired, I thought, an inspired creator, I thought I would share what inspires me is, women who go beyond, like they don't just retire, because, I'm a retired woman, and we don't just retire and say, now what, right? Women like Tanya, right, that on Be Connected, who, has had a career and did well and could have stayed there, but instead she wanted more. That is what inspires me. So for me personally, I had a weight loss group. I have a weight loss group. And the way that started, Carolyn, is because I was talking to different women, and this was before Be Connected, and I was in Facebook talking to a lot of women, and I was telling them it was during COVID, so I was sharing with them how to, like how to eat well and go for a walk and do these things. Let's not just all sit around and just start getting unhealthy. And when I did that, though, I realized how many of them were overweight by, 50 pounds and less. So what I ended up doing was I had created a program for myself when I went through menopause, which is what happens to women, when they're in their 50s. And then I had created my own program because I knew as a fitness instructor that this needs to go. I cannot let this pattern continue. And so that is how my work, which is called 31 Sneaky Ways to Reduce Weight Without a Diet. So that is what I was inspired to do by the women who were interacting with me, because they would say, my hips hurt, my legs hurt, my ankles hurt. And I'm like, why are these ladies hurting so much? And then I realized because they were a little bit overweight. So I said, I got to change my focus instead of it was really aging well. And we're still aging well, but now I threw that piece in because it was something I could help them with.
Oh, thank you so much. Now I know exactly what you do. You inspire women to release weight, right? Can I say this? Okay,
Absolutely.
this is inspiring. And what inspires you?
So it's the women that I come in contact with really inspire me. And like you, doing this, right? You're not afraid. You're not like, like, oh, I'm just going to step out there and be seen and be known and be heard and create. And so for me, I'm involved in this wonderful book project. It's for women 50 and over. There was 37 authors, and we all wrote a chapter about for people like you, right? For younger women and men, if they want to read it. But basically, it's saying how much we actually enjoy our older years and what passions we found, like me with my, helping women, right? We find different passions once we retire, and we don't just sit home and go, let me flip the TV channel or let me read a book, which is great too if you need to relax, but we're about so much more. So in this book project, it's called Ageless Voices, and there's 37 of us who've written chapters, and basically we're trying to show younger women and men that aging is not to be feared. That if and so what we've done, we've all written a chapter, and what we're going to do then is drop it out. This will be coming up and Be Connected too. We're going to all put in a tip. We've got 77. We're launching in middle of June 15th, launching the book. So we're all doing tips until then, all those 37 women on how to age well. right? How to age fearlessly. It's like, oh, it's lovely. So I am uber inspired about that right now.
Oh, I see that. And I love what you created or what is in the process to be finished, because I think I'm one of them who asked for a book like that. Yes.
Nice. Well,
Oh,
we had an admin, some woman who helped us in the group, helped us get organized when we would do group meetings like this, because there was, so many of us. We have 37 authors, and then we have many other women who are part of the launch team. In other words, they said, like you, like, oh, this is good. I want to help promote this. What can I do? Right.
mhm.
And so there's many other women like that. So this younger woman who was not yet 40, she came in and she helped us, just organize everything so we could all do what we do. Well, the funny thing is, it was time for her to go. Like, she was with us for about 6 months, and she was, okay, I have to go to work now. So she ended up, having to, because she was volunteering for us. But she said, before I go, I want you ladies to know, when I came into this project to help you, I was dreading turning 40. She said it was like the biggest dread in my life. I think she was 37 or 38 at the time. And she said, I just kept thinking, oh, I'm going to be 40 in 2 years. Oh, I'm going to be 40 in 3 years, or whatever it was. And she said, but after working with you ladies for this amount of time and seeing how like alive and just always have passion for something and always looking, and we have missions, right? Some of the women have nonprofits, and some of them have businesses, and these are things we all started after 50. And she said, you honestly have made me change my opinion on turning any age in the future, because I see that life is meant to be lived at every age to the fullest. Isn't that a great thing to hear?
Exactly. It's no matter what age is just a number, and we can live life to the fullest till the end of our life. Because yeah, I think how you live, this is how you die also. If you are living a joyful life, if I can say, it's not my mother language, so I have to invent my sentences. How you live your life is how you die also. You die happy with a smile on your face, and this is important. Okay, who inspires you?
So many women. Joyanne is the head of this project, the Ageless Voices book. She is 80, and she has a twin sister, and she dreamt this project up about 10 years ago, and she only put it into action in the last year. She goes, okay, it's time to do this thing. And she's always been an advocate for changing the way our country and our culture views aging. That's always been her passion. But now, she says it's time for the book. So she definitely inspires me. Also, Jane Fonda. You know Jane Fonda?
Yes. Mhm.
She is the one who got me in shape when I was in my 20s. And she started doing all those videos in the 80s. And so she was really one of the people I'm like, wow, let's see. And they were short. I mean, I'm just telling anybody who's interested, like, those are short, they were like 30 minutes at a time. So I was inspired by her because she's older than me quite a few years, like 20 years. And it was really neat to learn from her.
Mhm.
And as a result of me taking her videos, I ended up becoming a fitness instructor at the age of 50. And that was from Jane's inspiration.
Oh, this is really inspiring. So you would say you were not so active before, or before 50?
No, I mean, no, before I met Jane in the 20, when I was in my
Mhm.
20s. So yeah, once you get out of high school and college, you don't really, you're not really, I mean, you have to go join a gym or something.
Mhm.
And this was in the 80s, and it wasn't what it is now, where everybody goes and works out in all different ways, right? I mean, it was still fairly new. Only the big bodybuilders were doing it in the gym, right? And then you'd have, some classes like that for women, but basically, she was the one who brought it into the home, right? Who brought that into the home. So she inspired me. And also, as far as fitness goes, and also Leslie Samsung. who did the walking videos. I don't know if you know who she is. She gets women fit
Right.
only by walking. She doesn't make a big deal about it. She just says, go walk a mile, walk 2 miles. And she has videos where people can do them at home if it's too cold or rainy or, snowy or whatever outside. So she's another inspiration to me.
Oh, thank you so much. I will definitely look her up after our episode. And my next question is, how do you inspire other people? We already saw the example by speaking to us. What else?
So for me, I love to be, I plan to be, and I aim to be, like I do it on purpose, a role model for women younger than me. I am one of 5 daughters, and I'm right in the middle. And so I've got two sisters younger than me and two older. And I always want the two sisters younger than me to look up to me as a role model. And then you'll love this. My older sisters, when they're not doing what I think they should do to be healthy, if I see them engaging in some new unhealthy habits, of course, I talk to them and they love it. They'll say, "Oh my gosh, can you imagine having Victoria as a sister?" Because they know I'm going to keep them moving and active and alive. And so my oldest sister now, she retired. She retired 3 months ago. You'll love this. And she became a Pilates instructor at the age of 67.
Wow.
And
Yes,
she
I
said,
love
I
it.
would have never done it if you hadn't have pushed me. So I know I'm talking a lot about health, so you can tell that aging well and longevity is very important to me. And I love to share easy, like my program, 31 Sneaky Ways. I love to share easy, simple ways for everyone to age well with as healthy longevity as possible.
Wow. And you shared what worked for you, right?
You're exactly right. I
Oh,
figured
yes.
out what worked for me
Mhm.
during menopause because that's when I gained weight. Before that, I could always keep my weight at good. But then after that, I'll tell you, the truth is, from research I've done and from what I have observed, is and talked to doctors about, is when women go through menopause and perimenopause, which is the period right before, what happens is most women gain 1 to 2 pounds a year. Well,
Yes.
1 to 2 pounds a year is not bad. It's like a big deal. Your genes still fit in day two, in year two, but you get to year 10 and you're talking some additional weight. And you get to year 15, and all of that is what I'm talking about with the women that I was chatting with. Is they were like, my knees hurt, my hips hurt, and I'm like, why? And then I realized they're about 30 to 50 pounds overweight, and I'm like, it's because they went through menopause, and they're all different ages. So that is sort of how that all came into being for me. It's like I got to educate other women about this because we can't let it continue. Caroline, it will
Yes.
happen to you one day too. And you got to nip it in the bud. Do not let it grow.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm working on it already because when I was in the US, I always say I had too many burgers, when I was visiting the US last year. This is my excuse, of course. Yeah, I'm walking on my treadmill every day, and yeah, it
I
feels
love
good.
it. I love it. I could send you some fun treadmill games that I used to play when I'm in the gym. I now walk outside because I love being in nature. But when I've been in the treadmill, when I was teaching fitness, I made up all these games for my pupils to do, and it's a lot of fun. So let's see. Before I leave that, I want to say this to you.
Oh,
Does your
thank you
does
so
your
much.
treadmill incline? Does it go up?
No.
Doesn't incline? Okay.
I can set it up, but I'm going, the easy way. I'm
That's
way
okay.
too way.
So then, but you always want to go well, you're inclined. If you can incline a little bit, like having it on something, you always kind of want to be walking a little bit uphill, not big, not like, but you just a little bit uphill. And that really helps you build stamina and endurance. You
Mhm.
can do that.
Oh, thank you so
Yeah.
much. I learned something new. And I have another question, and it is, what are your gifts and talents?
I was an educator. That was my
Mhm.
role as in my career. I taught children to speak English, so I was an ESOL teacher, and then I'm an educator because I was a fitness instructor, and now I'm an educator because I have a coaching group. Right, so that is really my passion. Is I love to teach, like what I just said to you about the treadmill. I can't help it; it comes naturally to me, and I love it. I wanted to teach to be a teacher when I was 5 years old. I mean, I remember playing school with all the kids, you know. So that is what happens to me. Yep.
I love it. And when I was a kid, I wanted to be a radio show host or so. And this is maybe because why I started this podcast to live it now, 30 years later or so. And my last question is, when people reach out to you after listening to this episode, do you have a special offer or services for the Inspired Podcast community?
Uh, yeah, it's a 30-minute consult, just to have a
Mhm.
chat and see if they have issues. They say, oh, Victoria, here's my problem. I'm like, okay, are you doing this? Are you doing that? Because I love talking to women and just helping them. Like I couldn't, like with you, I couldn't even help telling you about the treadmill, right? I like doing that because sometimes you just hear a little bit of information. So yeah, like a 30-minute consult for sure.
Oh, thank you so much. This is really generous, and we will all learn from it. You love to share the information. This is really great. Thank you so much also for this interview, and see you in the next episode.
Thanks, Carolyn.